Hello, this is Eva with Eva Therapeutic Wellbeing, and I'm here today to educate you and teach you about the lymphatic system. I've had a lot of requests from my patients to talk to them and teach them how to do self-lymphatic drain. And so I thought today I would do a quick video and show you, like on myself, how to do a lymphatic drain, and then I would educate you on the importance of the lymphatic system and ways to keep it healthy, ways to keep yourself, the lymphatic system moving, and how important these structures are to your body. So I'm quickly going to go through the anatomy. I know this is not the best lighting and this is not the best picture to show you, but I'm going to briefly kind of go through the physical anatomy of the lymphatic system and show you like where those areas are located in the body and basically like what the lymphatic system does and how important it is for your health. So I'm just going to go back to my chart here and I'm going to kind of show you on my chart and on me where the lymph system is located. Okay, so follow me. Okay, this is my lymph chart that I work with patients. I tried to bring it closer to the camera, but it was really, with the lighting, it was really glary. So I thought I would just kind of go through quickly on here with you. So this is a picture of the human body. We have, these are organ structures here. This is the small intestine, and this is a close-up on the abdomen, if you're wondering what these pictures are. So the lymph system is located throughout our entire body. People don't realize, they think that we just have like lymph nodes in our throat, but we actually have lymph nodes and lymph vessels throughout our entire system. The biggest lymph node in the body is located right in the abdomen, right below, if you find your rib cage, and if you kind of bring your fingers just right below your rib cage, there's a giant lymph node in there called the cisterna chyli. It's the largest lymph node in the body. We also have a large lymph node on the left side of our chest, right underneath kind of like our clavicular area, called the thoracic duct. And those two areas are very significant for lymphatic drainage. What a lot of people don't realize is that if your abdominal area is congested, such as constipation, if your organs aren't working correctly, then your lymphatic system isn't going to be working correctly. I have a lot of patients that come in and they say, like, I want you to do lymphatic drain. And I don't normally always start with a lymphatic drain because your organs need to be working and your bowels need to be working first before we start draining any fluid. So just to show you some basic anatomy of the body. So we have really large lymph nodes located up around the neck area. So we have the nodes, and then we also have the vessels. So the nodes are located in strategic places in our body to help fight infection. So we have the neck, the large lymph nodes of the neck. We have large lymph nodes located in our cervical clavicular area. We have large lymph nodes located underneath our armpits. For men and for women, we do have, women especially, we have a lot of lymph nodes located in our breast tissue. There are lots and lots of lymph nodes around the stomach and around all the abdominal organs. We also have superficial lymphatic vessels that are lymph nodes that are do more superficial draining of our limbs. And then we have deep nodes that do deep draining of our body, like of our organs and things like that. So we have the superficial, and then we also have the deep lymph nodes. So we have both. And a lot of people they don't even realize how complex it is. They look at my chart and they're like, wow, that's the lymph system. I'm like, yeah, it's really complicated. There's a lot to it. So we have a lot, the primary areas of our lymph node are groin, armpits, neck. And then the most important, what I feel, is the abdominal structures. So really, we need to get those abdominal organs moving and the lymph nodes moving in your abdomen before we need to worry about any of the other parts of the lymph system. So when I do lymphatic drainage, I actually focus on the abdomen. You can drain the rest of the body just by working on the abdomen, especially working on the cisterna chyli area. So you need to make sure this is all open first before we do any lymphatic drainage, okay? So that cisterna chyli is kind of located right through this area here. And then we also have the thymus, which is a part of the lymphatic system, which is a gland that's located by the heart. And then we also have the spleen, which is located, if you kind of feel your left rib cage, if you kind of slide your hands around the backside, just so your fingers are just gently back behind your rib cage, that is where your spleen is located. If you have ever had mono, or if you've ever had an infection and this area hurts, that's usually a sign that your spleen is inflamed. And the reason for that is because the spleen is a primary source for fighting infection. And so it's releasing blood cells, it's releasing lymphocytes and things like that throughout your body to help fight and clear the infection. So that's why our lymph nodes swell. Our neck lymph nodes often swell when we get a sore throat or we get a cold, and that's a sign that your immune system is kind of starting to overwork to help clear the infection. So I'm going to show you how to stimulate your lymphatic system to help clear if you've had a recent infection, or if you've had kind of some immune issues. It could be related to your lymph. It also could be related to your organs. So this is a basic picture of the lymphatic system. Now, where those lymph nodes are located, we have the groin, we have the abdomen, we have the armpits, we have the neck. So we have a node, which is like a big, kind of like a round cluster. And then from there, we have what's called the lymph vessel, which is a long, like almost like how a vein would look in your body, but it actually is a vessel that helps to suction fluid back up to that lymph node. So for example, in my arm, I have lymph nodes in my arm, but then I have vessels that go down my arm and help to suction fluid back up into those lymph nodes. So sometimes when people have had lymph nodes removed out of their body, what will end up happening is they'll end up getting swelling down in the limb or the area where they had the lymph node removed, because that lymph node was taken and those vessels no longer can bring fluid back from that area. And that's where like lymph massage and things like that become really, really beneficial. Okay, so that's an overview of the lymph system. So we have the lymph nodes, we have the lymph vessels, we have the thymus, and then we also have the spleen under our left side of our body. So that's just a basic anatomy. And then the purpose of the lymphatic system is to help fight infection and to help move fluid through your body. So those are like the two main purposes for the lymphatic system. It's a huge, huge part of your immune system. So if your immune system is if you continue to get, I'll kind of go over some of the symptoms of a backed up lymphatic system, but if you have recurrent infections and problems with fighting infection, it could be because your lymphatic system is not working correctly. Okay, so let's quickly talk about, so we talked about the anatomy. We have the lymph nodes, we have the lymph vessels, we have the thymus, and we have the spleen. And remember, we're going to come back and talk about the cisterna chyli. We're going to talk about that again. So let's quickly talk about the emotions related to the lymphatic system. So my last video, I talked about the liver, and I think I talked about the liver being associated with anger and frustration. So let's talk about the emotions of the lymph, because what I do with people is not only am I addressing the physical aspect of why the person's having difficulty, but there's always some underlying emotional reasons why people are having difficulty with their body. And so our bodies will tell us things, give us messages, and help us to understand what our body is trying to tell us. And we're not listening to the messages of our body, and that's when we start seeing illness set in. So I'm going to show you two books. These are like, I use these books all the time. I refer to them all the time. So one of my favorite books is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. She's like one of the original writers that talked about emotions being tied to illnesses. And her take on the lymphatic system is a warning that the mind needs to be recentered on the essentials of life and focused on love and joy, which I love that. And that kind of goes along with my intuitive feeling about the lymphatic system. I intuitively feel like when there's resistance in your life, there's going to be resistance in the flow of your body. And the main flow, the circulatory system, but also the lymphatic system, is our flow. So when we're not in flow and we're in resistance, that's when you're going to see a backing up of the lymphatic system. That's how I feel intuitively. So there's this book if you don't have this book, this is a great book if you're interested in this kind of stuff. Okay. And then one of my other favorite books is Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die. This is a wonderful book by Carol Truman. And her take on the lymphatic system, the lymphatic vessels, breaking the law of love, breaking the law of peace and joy. So there's that joy coming up again. Resentment, hatred, or built up inside. And then the lymphatic system, lack of enthusiasm, unable to feel acceptance, negative thoughts against yourself. So there we go again, the resistance of flow, feeling stuck, stagnant. Those are definitely the emotions that I can relate to, especially with working with people. If they have a backed up lymphatic system, there's definitely usually some resistance there as well. So those are the emotions. So the thing I want you to keep in your mind is the flow state, because that's what we want. We want the lymph system flowing. We want the lymph system to be moving and not being in stagnation. So signs that you have a backed up lymph system. I took a bunch of notes before I started this today because I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget anything. Sometimes when you're doing these videos, you get into such a flow state that sometimes you forget to mention everything that you wanted to. And I want to make sure that you're educated before I start showing you some self-lymphing techniques. So maybe take note if you have any of these, or if you have multiple signs of these, then you definitely most likely have some backup of your lymphatic system. So signs of a backed up lymphatic system: brain fog, headaches, swelling, and that could be your whole body, or that could be like one location, reoccurring sinus infections, reoccurring infections, lack of energy, congestion, constant drainage down your throat, ear popping or ear ringing, sore throats, fluid in the ears, breast tenderness, bloating, itchy skin, overproduction of mucus, and I think I already said reoccurring sinus infection. I see that a lot of sinus congestion, reoccurring sinus infections, and you'll have, even sometimes people will have like cervical lymph nodes that are really hard. So that's another sign of lymphatic congestion as well. So also we're going to go over ways to clear congestion of your lymphatic system. So I'm going to go over my favorite techniques I like to instruct my clients, and then I'm going to show you some lymphatic training. So clearing congestion, we're going to review this today. Deep breathing. A lot of people wouldn't think that deep breathing would help clear the lymphatic system, but when we're in a state of fight or flight and we're constantly go, 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 our parasympathetic nervous system, or rest and digest part of our nervous system, becomes very underactive. And that's one of the main contributors to moving the lymphatic system, is being in a relaxed, calm state. And so if you're constantly in a go, go, go state, that could be another contributing factor to why your lymphatic system is backed up, is stress, for sure. So deep breathing stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, which will bring up and stimulate all the lymph nodes in your abdomen. So as you breathe deeply, what you're basically doing is you're opening up the organs and you're expanding and contracting all of those organs. And that's going to suction and contract and relax the lymphatic system. So deep breathing also stimulates the vagus nerve, and that helps to move the organs and get things moving in your digestive system. That will also help assist in clearing the lymphatic system. The organs and organ movement is highly correlated to lymphatic movement. People don't realize how many lymph nodes are located around their organs. There's more lymphatic vessels and lymphatic lymph nodes around your stomach and your small intestine. And the reason for that is when we eat food, there's a good chance of getting pathogens in through our mouth, and the lymph system is there to help fight off pathogens. And so they're there to protect our organs. Those lymph nodes are right there in case of a pathogen or something that's not supposed to be there, and they kick in and help fight off that possible infection. Our bodies are beautiful and perfect. So deep breathing, for sure. We want to make sure that you're doing some sort of breath work every day. And I talked about breath a lot in my last video. I can't emphasize enough how important breath work is. Water. Make sure that you're hydrated. So the lymphatic system is responsible for moving fluid. If you don't have enough fluid source in your body, it's going to be very difficult for your lymphatic system to move fluid if you're dehydrated and everything is very stagnant and concentrated. So make sure that you're drinking enough fluid throughout the day. Regular walking. I cannot emphasize enough how much I love walking and how that is probably my main prescription for my clients is to do walking. So we need to pump our lymphatic system. We need to pump our arms. We need to pump our legs. And that's what contracts the lymphatic system. And when we're sitting at a desk all day, when we're not doing a lot of activity, our lymph system becomes very, very, very stagnant. And so walking, breathing, moving, I mean, some of these things are common sense, but you know, it's good to know and understand why it's important that we exercise and why it's important that we do breath work. Epsom salt baths. So some of these strategies are the same strategies I would tell you for grounding, for cleansing and clearing your organs. Same thing with your lymphatic system. So 20 minutes in an Epsom salt bath. Make sure it's an unscented Epsom salt. We don't want to be absorbing, you know, artificial smells and artificial chemicals in our water. So make sure pure filtered water. Make sure that the Epsom salt is just plain regular Epsom salt. A lot of people really like saunas, infrared saunas. You can do a dry sauna or a wet sauna, anything that's going to get you sweating. Sweating is really important for detoxification of the lymphatic system. Dry brushing or self-massage, which I'm going to show you today. Castor oil packs are awesome for decongesting the liver and decongesting the abdominal organs. And if you don't know how to do that, I can do a separate video on castor oil packs. Also, I can put a link in the description box to my Elevate. I have a professional dispensary and I have a castor oil pack starter kit on there. And I have really good instructions on how to do a castor oil pack. So those just help to stimulate the organs. The castor oil helps to stimulate and move lymph fluid in your abdomen and help to cleanse and move stagnant or stagnation from the liver as well. Juicing and having a clean diet. I love juicing. This is something new that I've been getting into. But having a clean diet and having easily digestible food in your body also will free up energy and help keep your body clean. So staying away from processed food, staying away from like really salty food, staying away from like really fatty, hard to digest meats. All of those things like back up your body. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to free up energy and we're trying to create flow in our body. Beets is another thing that will help with clearing your lymphatic system. I have been on a beet kick lately. I've been juicing beets. I've been frying up the beet leaves and the beet stems. It's just something, I think it makes me feel grounded, and they're delicious. It's not everyone likes beets. So if that's not your forte, you can try other things on this list for sure. Another good strategy is legs up the wall. And that is, I'm not going to demonstrate, but a really great way to bring the lymphatic system and the lymph fluid from your legs up your body. So with that, what you're going to want to do is just place your legs up a wall and do some deep breathing to breathe in and breathe out through your abdomen for at least 5 minutes. You can even lay on the floor and put your legs up on a chair if you're not able to stretch your legs all the way up on the wall. And I've modified this for some of my clients and had them do this in bed if their bed is near a wall, or doing it up their headboard if they're not able to get up and down off the floor. So that is a way that you could modify. Yoga is another great strategy. Anytime when you're with yoga, what you're doing is you're focusing on breathing and you're moving your body, you're rotating your body, you're upward facing dog, downward facing dog. You're really moving those abdominal lymphatic vessels and lymph nodes, and you're compressing them and relaxing them. And so all of those things help to stimulate the lymphatic system. There are certain teas that you can try. Ginger is the number one, I would say the number one tea for stimulating the lymphatic system. Oils to stimulate the lymphatic system, cypress, ginger, and orange. And you can add those oils in with a coconut oil or another carrier oil, and you can brush those on your abdomen, in your armpits, around your thymus. You can use it as a lotion and kind of bring that fluid up from your legs up to your abdomen as well, just applying it, and that will help to stimulate the lymphatic vessels. There's also different herbs that help to stimulate the lymphatic system. I can also create a link for my suggested lymphatic herbs on my Welevate. So just to name a few: echinacea, golden seal, burdock root, sarsaparilla, red clover, blue violet, red root, and thyme are all excellent herbs for cleansing and clearing the lymphatic system. So now that you understand the emotions, some of the anatomy, some of the signs and symptoms, and some of the ways to clear the lymphatic, now I'm going to show you some techniques to do. Really quick, fast techniques that you can do to help stimulate your lymphatic system, get it moving, and hopefully start to clear it. If you do this on a daily basis, this is something you could do in the shower. This is something you could do in the morning or before bed when you're relaxing. So let me show you. Let's get started. I'm just going to scoot this back a little bit so you can see me a little bit better. This isn't the best setup in my office, so I apologize. Okay, so I'm going to sit up here and just do a little bit of demonstration. Okay, hopefully you can see me okay. That looks okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start in the abdomen. This is the most important area for your lymphatic drainage. A lot of people, they start, they just start brushing their arms. They start stimulating their armpits and their arms and bringing the fluid up. That is not how I would suggest to start. I would highly, highly recommend to start in the abdomen. And the first thing we're going to do is just start with some breath work to stimulate all the abdominal lymph nodes. We're just going to open up all those lymph nodes, get things moving, and then I'm going to show you how to drain your lymph system. Okay, so the most important area is that cisterna chyli. So what I want you to do is take your fingers, you're going to put them together, and you're going to point them inward like this. Okay, and we're going to kind of not poke, but just press a little bit of pressure inward right at our rib cage. Okay, you see how I'm doing that? Bring my body to the side so you can see that a little bit. Just like that, just gentle pressure, just like that. Good. Okay. So we're going to gently breathe in, expand your belly, breathe out. As you breathe out, you're going to bring your hands inward. Just hold it there for a few seconds, breathing in, expand out, go out. Just gently pressing into that area, breathing in, go out. Excellent. Again, breathe in. Really expand your abdomen as much as you can, like bloat it out if you can. Blow out. I know that's not appealing, but breathe in and then blow out. Bring everything in. This is kind of similar to what I was demonstrating in my last video on liver. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that, I kind of go through some of these breathing techniques in that video as well. Breathing in, blow out. So we're just opening up those deep lymphatic vessels and those deep lymphatic nodes to start this process. You can take your fingers and you can even just do some nice, gentle upward motions right in that center, right between, here's my rib cage here. So right there, you can just gently press upward. You see how I'm doing that? Up. And you're going to start hearing some gurgling noises, and that's great. That's what we want to hear. You want to hear gurgling. That's a sign that your lymph system is starting to drain. All right, so now we're going to stimulate the spleen and the thymus, okay? So I want you to locate on your left side. We're going to go around the back, just a little bit. So we're going to go around here and we're just going to do some gentle tapping on the spleen. And just wake up and stimulate that organ and get it going. I also think that the lymphatic system has an emotional component to all the organs. Since the lymphatic system moves throughout the whole body, it would also draw the emotions of the whole body. So we hold emotions in different areas of our body. Like for example, the liver holds anger and irritation. The stomach holds anxiety. So the lymph system could also be responsible for helping to process all of those emotions. So as you do this work and as you start working on clearing your lymph system, don't be surprised if you have some emotions come up as well. That is completely normal. Anytime you do organ work, you're going to have emotions that come along with it, okay? So now that we've stimulated the spleen and we've opened up the cisterna chyli, now we're gonna come to the thymus, okay? I don't know if you've ever done thymus thumping before, but you're just you can either tap, we're gonna go right below our clavicles, kind of right at our sternal area. And you can take your hand and you can just thump, or you can tap. I like to tap. So we're just going to do a couple of these to stimulate our thymus. And anytime you're getting a cold or you're not feeling well, thymus thumping is a really, really good way to activate and stimulate your immune system. So you can do this anytime as well for that. So if you start feeling like you're getting a cold, just start doing some thymus thumping. You can do alternating, you can use your fist, or you can tap. Excellent. Okay. Now that we've got our lymph system all stimulated, we're going to open up our digestive system. Okay, so we're going to start on our right hip, just like we did in our last video. We're going to do circles in our right hip crease. So if you didn't watch my last video, you're going to find your hip, and we're just going to do circles right in our hip region and open up your digestive tract. Okay, so we're going to do some of those. We're going to work our way up towards underneath the right breast area, the right nipple line, across the abdomen, across the transverse colon, and then we're going to go down the descending colon and into the left hip. Again, you might hear gurgling. That's awesome. We want to move and get the digestive system moving and the lymph system stimulated. You can use a tennis ball if you'd like to do this too, to give yourself a little bit more deeper pressure. Back to the right side, we're going to do this 3 times. And across, you could spend more time doing this if you'd like. Perfect. Okay, we've done 3 of those. Okay, let's go back and do another round of breathing. So we're going to do the same thing with our cisterna chyli. We're going to take a breath in, blow out. A little deep pressure there, breathe in, blow out. Don't forget to breathe while we do this for sure. Breathing is super important. Breathe in, blow out. Excellent. All right, now we're going to start with doing, now that we've done our proximal lymphatic stimulation, now we're going to start our distal lymphatic stimulation. So it's really important to think about your lymph system as being like a traffic jam. So if you're backed up somewhere in your body, if you started moving fluid, like if we started moving fluid from our arms and this wasn't cleared out, basically what you're doing is you're pushing fluid into a traffic jam. So we need to have this area cleared first before we start moving other fluid down. That makes sense. Okay, so now that we've done our abdomen, let's go into our groin. So you're going to find your underwear line and you're going to just rub your groin area. There's huge giant lymph nodes located right at your underwear line. So make sure you open those. We're going to do our right and our left side. We're just going to open up all the giant lymph nodes in our body. All right, now we're going to do our arms. Armpits, you know, sometimes these get really sore, especially if you have had a cold or flu or something like that. The armpits can get really, really, really tender. So go ahead and get in there. Like really use your your fingers and kind of get in there to get the deeper lymph nodes, and you might be able to even feel them. I'll also speak on deodorant. So if you're using like an over-the-counter deodorant, those will really congest your lymph nodes underneath your armpits. It's really, really important to use, more of a natural deodorant, baking soda, arrowroot powder, coconut oil. It might not smell the best, but honestly, your armpits are a huge detoxifier of the body. And a lot of times I see patients with upper quadrant breast cancer issues or swollen lymph node issues. And I really feel like it's contributed to that deodorant doesn't allow us, and antiperspirant don't allow our lymph nodes to clear out, doesn't allow us to sweat. And so those become really, really backed up. So natural deodorant, definitely do. And if you start doing a natural deodorant and you really don't like the way that you smell, keep at it, because as your body detoxes, that actually gets better. So over time, you won't smell as bad, I promise. Really work those lymph nodes underneath those arms, get those moving. Okay, so you can also stimulate around your breast tissue, especially this area. This is the mammary chain that drains the breast tissue. So you want to rub that area on both sides. And then we're going to brush the clavicles. Okay, so what I want you to do is take your fingers and you're just going to gently press inside your clavicular area. There's a lot of little lymph nodes hiding underneath there. And then your neck. Really get to the base of your neck. You can kind of do some strokes here. Just opening everything up. Make sure to get underneath your ears, right behind your ears, kind of stimulate, and you want to move that down. You might feel like you need to swallow. That's good. That's getting the lymph clearing from your head and your neck. If you have a lot of mucus issues or a lot of ear issues, we really want to focus. You got to work here if you want to clear here. So don't start up here if you have ear issues. You want to work in your tummy. So we're going to stroke that down. And then bring that down through your sternum. Okay, now that we have everything opened up, let's do a round of lymph clearing. Okay, focusing on the upper body. Starting in our hip. Let's go through the whole routine again. Okay, we're going to work our way up, starting at the right hip crease, work our way up to underneath the breast tissue, down to the left hip. Breathe in. Relax. Press into the cisterna chyli. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, we're going to move our hands downward, down our abdomen. So bring them down about an inch or so. Breathe in. Breathe out. Press inward. This is getting the deep lymph. Breathe in, go out. Getting some of the deeper organs. Now, if you have any pain or tenderness with this, I'd just be cautious. Don't do anything that causes you pain or anything that causes you any discomfort. Breathe in, blow out. See how I'm kind of bringing my hands all the way into my abdomen there. And move your hands down. Breathe in, blow out. Do you see how I'm using my abdominal muscles also to squeeze? That helps to squeeze all the lymph too in your abdomen. Awesome. All right, now we're gonna work our way down. Okay, so we're gonna start with our breast tissue and we're just going to slide down. We're gonna bring the breast lymph down towards the hip. Okay, we're gonna do 10 strokes. You can kind of do like a circular motion. This isn't the most comfortable thing to videotape, just to be honest with you. So thank you for being supportive, because this is really out of my comfort zone. Okay, so now we're on the right side. We're going to bring down towards the right hip 10 times. And I'm kind of doing like a circle around the breast tissue. If you wanted to work more of the breast tissue, you could also do the bottom underneath, and you want to stroke it down. Okay, like that. And let's do another round of clearing. Always going to go back and clear the cisterna shyly. Breathe in, blow out. Breathe in, blow out. Breathe in, blow out. All right, now we're going to do our armpits. Same thing, we're going to clear down, or you can kind of clear towards the cisterna. Down. We're going to do 10 strokes of each. 9. Other side. 2. Just light. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Clear the cisterna. Breathe in. Blow out. Breathe in. Breathe in. Blow out. Okay. Now we're going to clear these lymph nodes are on the top around the clavicles. They have a tendency to get really, really congested. So what I suggest to do is take your fingers, just gently. You can do just lightly across the chest. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to just bring that down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Clear the cisterna. Breathe in. Blow out. Breathe in. Blow out. Blow out. Breathe in. All right, now we're going to do our cervical lymph nodes. So we're going to start with just doing circles in our neck. And you're going to bring your hands up and then just brush downward. Circle up, brush downwards, circle up, brush downwards, circle up, brush downwards. And just do that pattern in the neck. You can also do the front around your thyroid, really clearing out that gland. And also do your face. Start at the nose and go out and down, out and down, out and down. This is really light touch. Make sure you get underneath your chin and then stroke downward. You might feel some tingling sensation in your face, in your neck. And then let's clear the cisterna. Breathe in, blow out. Blow out. Breathe in, blow out. All right, let's clear the arms. All right, so we're going to start distal and work proximal. So we already cleared our armpit. We're going to bring the back of our arms 10 times. And the whole arm. If you notice that you're swallowing a lot after you do this, that's a really good sign that it's clearing some of that congestion in your head and your neck. And just so you know, it's really important to drink a lot of water after you do this. And you may urinate quite a bit today after doing this, which is completely normal. All right, let's do the other side. start with your lower arm first, and then we'll do the full body, the full arm. And I'm just kind of making a cup with my hand and just gently using my hands to scoop the fluid down. So it's like a scoop. Okay, and let's clear again. So we're going to clear a little bit in our chest just to move that fluid, and then we're going to clear down. Let's clear armpits again, clear down. Always want to clear. So I've had a couple of patients that continue to get like a lot of congestion in their armpits, and it's really important to go back and clear those out after we've moved fluid to that area. Also, if you are wearing a bra with an underwire, I highly recommend trying to find something different, because those underwire, they cut right into the mammary chain and right into those lymph vessels that help to clear out the breast tissue. So looking for like a more, like a less compressive sports bra or something like that, a camisole is much better for your breast health. All right, now we're gonna bring that fluid down into our abdomen, and then let's clear. Breathe in, blow out. Breathe in, blow out. Breathe in, blow out. Breathe in, blow out. Perfect, good. And now we can do the last part. We can do your legs, which we're gonna do exactly like the arms. I'm gonna try to do this the best that I can to show you. Okay, so with the leg, we're gonna bring up towards the groin, and we're just gonna use both of our hands to kind of, do you see how I'm doing that? Kind of like scooping the legs. So you make sure you do the back of the leg. There are some lymph nodes underneath your knee, so make sure you stimulate there. And then we're going to scoop upward. Now, if you have some cellulite on your legs, this can also help reduce the appearance and cellulite on your legs. So this is another good treatment if you have some problems with cellulite, which most women do, including myself. Okay, so we're gonna scoop that fluid up towards our groin. Remember, we talked about the underwear line and then the lower leg. Scoop up. And this just feels really good. I mean, when do we spend time really touching and taking care of our bodies? This is something you could do in the bathtub or in the shower every day. You could do this with a washcloth. You could also do the same technique that I'm teaching you with a dry brush, if you'd rather use a dry brush. All right, now we're clearing the whole limb, just like we did with the arms. All right, now we're going to switch sides, come back and do your underwear line again. Let's do the other side. And do the thigh. So this routine, if you get really used to it and you go through this a couple times, it should only take about 10 minutes to do this. You spend maybe 5 to 10 minutes doing this a day. Even if you just clear your cisterna every day, that would be a really good practice. If you do some exercise, you could do that even before you start, because that will help pump the lymph through your body. So always open up your cisterna before you exercise, before you take a jog, before you do any yoga. And that might really, really help move the lymph fluid for you. Okay, let's go back. Clear our underwear line. And we're going to go back and we're going to clear the abdomen. So start with opening the abdomen, clear your body, end with clearing your abdomen. It's the most important area for lymph drain. Can't emphasize that enough. Breathe in, blow out. Breathe in, blow out. Breathe in, blow out. Breathe in, blow out. All right, starting in the right. Semicircles up underneath the right rib cage, across the left rib cage, and down towards the left groin. Another good way to clear lymph that I might not have mentioned is rebounding. So having like a little mini trampoline in your body or in your house, and then just bouncing your body up and down on the rebounder or your trampoline is another good way to move your lymph as well. I'm not sure if I mentioned that or not, but you don't need anything special. Walking is honestly the best exercise for your lymphatic system. That and yoga. All right, one last time. Breathe in. Go out. Breathe in. Go out. Breathe in. Go out. Excellent job. All right, thank you so much for joining me today and learning about the lymphatic system and taking the time to learn how to do these techniques. Again, I will post below, I will post herbs that are really good for the lymphatic system. I'll post that in the description box. I'll also post in the description box a link to my Elevate 4 castor oil packs as well. And make sure that after you do this today that you're drinking plenty of fluids. And it might even be a good idea for you to do an Epsom salt bath later today, especially if you have a lot of these symptoms on the checklist, just to help to continue to help your lymphatic system move and clear with all this work that we've been doing. Keep up with the breath work as well. Just even the act of doing the breath work and the deep pressure in your abdomen will really make some profound changes in how your lymphatic system is working. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. You can message me here on YouTube, or you can reach me on my link, which is linked below. Thank you so much for your time today.
It was crazy and fun.